What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York, and on the phone we got David from the Devil's Trade. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for your inquiry and for the chance.
Yeah, of course. It's so awesome to have you here. The Call of the Iron Peak is scheduled to come out later this year. Do you just want to talk about how the making of this record was in terms of what the thought process was and the mixing, recording, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, if it's fun. I'm not really into the studio process, and it's just a pain in the ass for me. Actually, it happened. It started in last August when my manager called me that Michael of Season of Mist wanted to listen to 3 new songs, so I should have recorded them, and it was a huge rush because my last album was not even one year old, so I only had one song ready, and I was touring a lot, so I didn't have time to any new materials. So I had 3 weeks to write and record 2 new songs. So it was 3 then. Then Michael said that they are quite good, so the Season of Mist would release the album. But it was a very tight schedule. So it was in August, and I started to write songs and record them, and I have a normal job, so I had to disconnect from my normal life and just to focus only on writing music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I moved to Austria from Hungary. I went to the Alps, huge mountains, and I moved in a cabin in the Alps. It's 800 meters high, and it was only hiking and writing music.
Mm-hmm.
And the album got finished. Actually, the recordings got finished by November. So it was extremely fast. I've never done anything like this before.
Yeah. The Alps is a great place to be inspired. I've been there, having family in Bavaria, so it's a great place to get inspired.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah. So actually, the whole idea of the Iron Peak came to me when I was 2,000 meters high, close to a peak that was shining like it was iron, and it was all peaceful and quiet, and
That's awesome. Could the singles that you released, such as Dead Sister or The Call of the Iron Peak or Harom Arva, could this almost serve as a clear representation of what The Call of the Iron Peak is going to sound like, or is it going to be a little bit more diverse and experimental?
There will be some different soundscapes, but not too different than the 3 songs. I only use two kind of instruments, the guitars and the banjo. So it can sound like a limited weaponry, but I have many different but still heavy sounds for a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, I almost feel like every song on this album, from the Iron Peak to No Arrival to Eyes on the Fire, it almost seems like every song plays by its own rules. Do you ever do a lot of these ideas come out of nowhere in a way, or do you sometimes enter something with a preconceived idea?
No, never. No, nothing is planned. When I start to write a song, it's totally unconscious, and it's like, I know it sounds a little cheesy, but it's an out of body experience for me to write the musical part. Lyrics wise, it's trickier. I mean, that must be conscious because it's not my it's not my language. But, so it's a little bit different or harder to write meaningful and deep roots.
Yeah.
So I have to solve them more. But the music process is totally unconscious.
So there's.
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying?
That's it. No, it's okay.
No, because it almost seems like, do you almost like need? There's never a time where lyrics or a story or a concept can help influence the composition of the music as well. You just need music before lyrics come into place.
Mostly, yes. But there is I think every singer songwriter or anyone who works with ideas and words, everyone has a notebook. I'm sure of it, 100%. You need it because these ideas are rushing through your mind, and you have to get prepared to make notes, to write them down, not to forget them. And so when a song is ready, like half ready, 50% is waiting for me to sing something on it. I'm searching for the words, and if there's nothing coming with the music, then there's a notebook. So there are always some ideas that we're waiting, that are waiting to be made.
Mm-hmm. It's so you mentioned when like the song's like halfway done. How do you know when the song is officially done?
I would say there are two different kind of songs. The first that I would never play on stage. So that the song that these songs are finished when they are recorded. The other part is that I'm playing on stage, and they have they are evolving with every time I play them. So they are changing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they are finished at all.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to songwriting and like the music that you do make, is it a direct? Do you almost like look at the Call of the Iron Peak or What Happened to the Little Blind Crow? Like, do you almost like look at these albums as like self-portraits in a way, or are you like expressing something that's a little bit more outside of who you personally are?
No, it's only about me, and the world in my head, and the reflections of the world around me. But it's all from my own dark reality in my head. So I don't write about other persons or if it's political, because on the new album there are some not strictly political things, but songs that represent my side, the side I'm at. So, but it's still not the direct. It's all about feeling, not about the shitty political situations of my country, because probably it's all the same there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more interested in the personal stories, and this musical project is more like a therapy for me. So I don't pay for professionals like psychiatrists or any kind of doctors. That's what my music is for me.
Yeah. It almost seems like you're also able to express yourself both very literally and metaphorically as well, right?
Well, I'm glad if you see so.
Now, being that the music is a direct extension of who you personally are, but is there ever a time where like inspiration or like you mentioned like going up to the Alps to finish the Call of the Iron Peak and like I'd imagine that sometimes you have to like maybe escape your comfort zone in a way or maybe escape who you personally are in order to learn new things about yourself, right?
That's right. Absolutely right. Especially, I'm when I'm not a musician. I'm an ex-fighter. I'm a coach, a strength coach, and I teach Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So if it's not about music, the other part of my life is absolutely about stepping out of my own comfort zone and teaching others how to step out theirs. Because that's the truth that everything that helps you to grow or to evolve is out of your comfort zone. And being alone on stage is extremely difficult thing for me still. Um, yeah.
But teaching jiu-jitsu though, I mean that jiu-jitsu, I mean from watching videos of it and listening to Joe Rogan talk about it on every single podcast, but like it is maybe there a way that you present yourself in a similar manner, like when you're on stage as you do when you are teaching jiu-jitsu. I'd imagine it has to teach you some element. It has to be somewhere in your stage presence, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's just going on stage. It's almost the same like going on the mat or in a ring or in a cage, because no matter how many people is around you when you're preparing for a fight, for a tour, for a concert, when you're on stage, you're all alone, and there is nothing more to hide. I mean, there's no chance to hide any your weakness. Probably as a music fan, when I'm listening to someone, I search for those artists who are ready to express their fears and their weaknesses and through these moments they are growing bigger and bigger while we're witnessing it. I think that's the only way to play music for me. I mean, I'm not interested in any other way.
Yeah. Is there maybe like a similar mind frame when it comes to songwriting and jiu-jitsu as well? Like because both are very creative forms of expression that, there's theory and then there's discipline behind it, but in the end it becomes a direct extension of who you are. So is there maybe like a similar creative mind frame between jiu-jitsu and songwriting?
I would say yes. I would say so, but it's a huge difference between jiu-jitsu and writing music for me. That I don't see myself a professional musician in the so I don't know about musical structures and even I don't know the chords I'm playing. It's I know it's hard to believe, but I only know how to tune my guitars and the banjo, and that's all. But when it comes to jiu-jitsu, I know way more about the movements and the techniques than I know about music.
Yeah. And you mentioned something before, like being a solo artist and stuff, because I don't understand how artists such as you or Amigo the Devil or King Dude or any of those artists can really it almost seems like being in a band with 5 people, it has to be somewhat easier than being on stage by yourself. It's just you're naked up there pretty much, right?
Absolutely. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. You have to learn how to be on stage alone, because it's especially I spent the last 15 years in metal bands, in stoner sludge bands, and I really missed that comfortable, heavy sound that you can rely on. So without it, I started with acoustic guitars and as a solo artist, and it was very weak for me. There was nothing that would, help me to get my real voice out. So I needed some bigger soundscape, and I think I managed to find it on the tours.
Definitely. I really think that what you have, like, with the Devil's Trade, it almost seems like it's so raw with emotion that, like, if people want it, because, every time somebody gravitates towards an artist, they want to know about the artist. They really want to know what they feel, who they personally are. I feel like your music is so raw that anybody who wants to get to know you, all they have to do is listen to your album, and they know exactly who you are.
Lovely. I'm very glad to hear this, especially because, the Hungarian musical scene is not an easy one, because everyone is very scared to be clear about their intentions and their ideas and their political views, the emotions, because if they are that raw, or they are that far from the Christian so-called Democrat, which is in Hungary is the right wing and the far right. If you're not on that side, you won't get any governmental funded money.
Wow.
To move. So I can say, like, not more than 10 bands in Hungary that are brave enough to have an own sound and an own voice. Everyone is following the leaders. So what you mentioned means a word to me. I mean, it means that I'm on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you don't need to rely on anybody to make the music. You don't need to rely on anybody to play it. It's just coming solely from you. And I'd also imagine that if you want to experiment with your sound, if you want to, take a new step for the Devil's Trade, if you want to express, there's nothing holding you back. And on top of that, you're with Season of Mist, who are completely open to all forms of creative expression.
Oh yeah, they are awesome. I mean, I couldn't imagine any other record labels that I could fit more. Or yeah, that's a perfect place for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they are brave. I mean, they are very brave if you think about how diverse they are. I mean, let me know another metal or heavy music record label that would just easily sign a singer-songwriter. I mean,
yeah,
that's bravery. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think, like, and not to pigeonhole you, I know that some artists don't really like to be compared too much, but I think, like, the singer-songwriter thing is starting to become a style of music that really resonates with a lot of people. Like, I saw Amigo the Devil open up for Guns N' Roses at Louder Than Life, and he was by himself at a freaking stadium setting.
Shit.
And he made an acoustic circle pit happen.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, yep. And King Dude is another one, I think, that just really resonates with people. So I think what it is with the singer-songwriting stuff is there's no barrier. There's nothing to separate, I think, between the musician and the fans. Not even just in the music, but also in the live setting.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. Yeah.
And there's one more question I did want to ask, actually. I just started asking artists this, because when you're playing music live, in the end, you are just taking the music that people are hearing on the album and just replicating it on a live setting. So being that there's like a replica element into playing live, is there anything remotely creative about being live?
Uh, playing live is the reason I'm doing this. I mean, recordings are momentary. I mean, that's what I mentioned before. The songs are evolving on stage every time. They are growing and changing. I don't change parts, but I change the vocal, the melodies a lot, and even the riffs. So that's the main part. I only do recordings to be able to go on tours and to play live. Um, it would be easier to record the the concerts for me. Maybe that's I think.
Can you picture yourself doing a live album?
I already did.
Okay.
It was a limited edition EP with Happy Music is Shit, and yeah, it was a totally live recording.
I've noticed on how different the album artwork for that one is compared to what happened to the Little Blind Crow and the Call of
Oh
the
yeah,
Iron Peak. So
yeah, it's minimal. I didn't. I mean, it was before what happened to the Little Blind Crow, and it only happened after the EP that I told my friend Robert Borbash, Grind Design, uh, who is a great, a huge, a genius that you are. That, and we were talking about, I think, the new latest Converge at the time, the latest Converge album. I don't know the title of it.
The Dusk and Us.
The silver shining album cover.
Yeah, I think The Dusk and Us.
Yeah, that's it. We were talking about how great it is, and he just turned to me and he said, "What about what would you say if I was doing a cover for you, an album cover?" And it's like, I would never dare to ask him such a thing because he's that huge. So I was like, I was shocked, and he did this album too, and I think he will do the third one, and it would. Somehow I feel it will be the end of this period of my musical life, and something will change after it. I'm not sure what, but I'm feeling like, yeah, feeling so.
Well, just as long as you continue making music, because I think
I will sure.
yeah, because we need the type of music. I think the way that you express the darkness is very reminiscent to what we're all feeling right now. So,
Thank you.
but thank you so much, David. Everybody, we are here with David of The Devil's Trade. Be sure to pick up The Call of the Iron Peak when it comes out. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.